Hello everyone, this is ManiaMax1613. Hero Factory. When I say those two words, do you long for the old glory days of Bionicle? Do you feel angry, depressed, suicidal, murderous, want to organize a terrorist cell and bomb LEGO headquarters? Well, you're not alone. It's no secret that Hero Factory outraged many devoted fans of its predecessor, and though it sells well, it has received largely negative reviews from consumers. But if Hero Factory was really as horrible as many people say, we wouldn't have bought it, would we? The purpose of this review is to examine Hero Factory's redeeming qualities, for it definitely has some. So, let's take a look at them. Number 5. It replaced Bionicle. When Bionicle was discontinued in 2010, it didn't go out with a bang, it went out with a whimper. The Bionicle stars were a huge disappointment to fans expecting a glorious farewell to the beloved series, and people were desperate for a newcomer to fill its shoes. Hero Factory stepped up and not only offered a fresh opening to new fans, but challenged veteran mock builders to adapt and form new techniques. Many astounding mocks on Biotube and DeviantArt would never have been created without Hero Factory pieces. Number 4. The variety. Up until 2007, Bionicle sets had fairly limited options when it came to color, rarely straying far from the 5 elemental colors or the basic colors black, gray, and silver. Right off the bat, Hero Factory offered a wave of new and different color schemes. These days, colors such as purple, gold, yellow, orange, and translucent shades of green, blue, orange, and yellow are easily available. While prior to 2007, such colors would have ranged from difficult to virtually impossible to find in large quantities. Number 3. Their durability. There is one way that Hero Factory is actually superior to Bionicle regarding the design of individual pieces. The pieces from post-2011 sets have slightly thicker molds that make them very difficult to break. The ball and socket joints also wear out and lose their traction much more slowly than Bionicle pieces. A major problem from 2008 and beyond was that basic, essential Bionicle pieces such as upper limbs and hand pieces were infuriatingly easy to break. Whether this was a design flaw or an evil conspiracy to get people to buy more sets is still unclear. Number 2. Their integration with Bionicle. When people ask what makes LEGOs, and especially Bionicles, the best toy line ever, which I'm just going to say this now, they are, it's the fact that there's pretty much nothing you can't build out of them. 2011 was quite a shock to Bionicle fans when they discovered that the new wave of Hero Factory sets, instead of using what were essentially modified Bionicle pieces, were built using a completely new system that at first didn't seem compatible with older pieces. This may have led to the already controversial series receiving a wave of criticism when, in fact, it may have been Hero Factory's single best quality. The new system challenged mock makers like myself to try out new ways of building mocks. And it wasn't too long before we were making mocks with completely new designs that would have been previously much more difficult to make. It didn't take skilled mock makers long to show off what Hero Factory pieces could really do by building astounding creations that never would have existed otherwise. Number 1. Its entire concept. The best thing about Hero Factory is that it not only challenged longtime fans, but allowed a newer generation to experience the wonders of mock making for themselves. It also happens that this is one of Hero Factory's worst qualities. Number 5 on my list of the worst things about Hero Factory is that it was designed to appeal to a younger audience. Here's an interesting fact. Kids don't like stupidity anymore. They enjoy challenging, intelligent material, which the shallow and overly clear-cut Hero Factory took away when it replaced the deeper, much more complex Bionicle series. Number 4. The sets. The sets suck. They take a great system and do pretty much nothing with it. Even the best Hero Factory sets are little more than redesigns of Bionicle sets. Even Hero Factory's creator thinks Bionicle is better. Number 3. The main villains. Von Nebula, Preston Stormer's evil brother, a hero-turned-galactic villain. His powers are creating black holes and blaming Stormer for royally screwing up things on a mission years ago. So he wants to destroy Hero Factory because the alternative would be admitting he made a mistake, dealing with it, and moving on. Sure. Okay. How about Makuta Pterodax? He is supposedly the brother of Madanui, implying that he was also the first Makuta. While Madanui watched over the Matoran in the Bionicle universe, aka a robotic body larger than a continent, Pterodax and the other Makuta were actually the ones who made the Bionicle universe work. While the Matoran praised and admired Madanui for watching over them and blessing them with the three virtues, the Makuta worked tirelessly to create advanced technology and Rahi creatures, only to receive no thanks from the Matoran, who only respected the Makuta out of fear. The Makuta slowly developed an all-consuming jealousy of Madanui and the Toa he sent to protect the Matoran. After countless experiments on themselves to increase their power, this jealousy became an insane hatred for everything Madanui stood for. Pterodax took that hatred and formed a plan to take control of Madanui's body and thereby gain the power of the entire Bionicle universe. He was only defeated after Madanui, who, if you haven't figured this out already, is pretty much the Bionicle equivalent of Jesus, dropped a freaking moon on Pterodax's head, thereby saving all of known reality, but probably killing millions of his own people in the process before dying himself. Or something like that, it's never really explained. That sacrifice will be honored forever. Von Nebula, on the other hand, was defeated because Preston Stormer tricked him into getting sucked into his own staff. What an epic fail. Even by Hero Factory standards, that's just pathetic. Number 2, the main heroes. Not much needs to be said here. Just imagine any Hero Factory team going up against any Toa team. No matter what combination you try, the result will always be pretty much the same. Number 1. All of Hero Factory's previously mentioned flaws were fairly superficial, but there is one thing about it that is very seriously wrong on a moral level. I am being totally serious when I say that the story of Hero Factory is a crime against nature. This is not a joke. Bionicle had an incredibly well-developed backstory and universe that barely even begins with the sets. A deep, complex mythology that spans millennia sets the stage for everything that occurred during Bionicle's 9-year run. And despite it being aimed at 6 to 12-year-olds, drew in a much older and more intelligent audience by exploring, in depth, the nature of creation and destruction, and examining the philosophy that teamwork and family bonding could do so much more than just defeat villains. It could restore or even exceed the power of God. More than that, its entire purpose was to give people the opportunity to create their own universe, their own sets of rules and values, with no restrictions as to what they could do with those simple pieces of plastic. Bionicle inspired kids, me included, to create complex stories with their own characters and attributes. If one were to take every Bionicle universe ever made by imaginative kids trying to make something of their own, the theoretical combined alternate realities and timelines created by everyone who ever made a custom Bionicle, a construct I call the Bionicle multiverse, it would have several hundred times as much reading material as the Marvel or DC universes combined. Hero Factory destroyed that. Aiming a new series at younger children is not a bad thing, but, as I mentioned before, children these days do not enjoy mindless cartoons and endless non-storylines that involve no intelligent material. Something aimed at younger children does not have to be dumbed down. Quite the reverse. Kids need to think, to be challenged intellectually. It may seem ridiculous that a toy should have to provide that, but this goes beyond Lego. This goes to the entertainment industry itself. What's the reasoning behind making something entertaining and immature? Something for little kids? Well, they wouldn't be able to understand it otherwise, right? The whole idea of that is absurd. Kids shouldn't be able to understand what's given to them. They should be challenged to figure it out, to find meaning or greater purpose to something. If you've watched the Hero Factory TV show, it's incredibly dumb to listen to. There's nothing there that would make kids ask the questions, what does that mean? Is that the right thing to do? Why is that good or bad? Bionicle, a series which, I believe, given time, could have rivaled Star Wars, Marvel, or DC, was replaced with a series with intellectual material that makes the Power Rangers TV show seem like a Shakespeare play. It's just wrong. Well, that's that. Subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think I should do next, and tell me what you thought of this video.